and welcome back to my channel. I am the Mass Trans and you are watching me, baby. Now, before we get today's video started, I just want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a diabolical middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. Why is it 4 a.m.? Why is it 4 a.m.? And why am I awake? Why is it 4 a.m.? Why am I awake? And why am I here at 4 a.m. awake talking to you about Rupaul's Drag Race All-Stars? Why? Why? Make that make sense for me. Because I cannot call it. I have no idea why I'm up. You know what? I do know why I'm up. I made a promise to try to be consistent, try being an operative word, because I don't need y'all circling back around here a week from now if I don't create a video talking about, well, you said you was, no, listen, I said try. I said try, okay? Let us be clear, okay? So I made a promise that I was going to try to record a video for every single episode of this season. So far, so good. We're on episode 4, and baby, this is my 4th video. And they said she couldn't do it. So anyway, I'm here to talk about episode 4 of Drag Race All-Stars All-Winter Season. So let's dive right in, because like I said, it's 4 a.m. and I got things to do, so I'm not going to hold y'all any longer than necessary. So this one was like Fairy Tale Court. I don't remember the exact name of the episode. Let me tell you something. If you're one of those people who come over here looking for these very detailed reviews, I'm going to pause and give you a minute to leave. Because we don't have time to be writing down all of these historical accounts of, you know, what this person did. I'm giving you my visceral response to the episode. This is what I saw. This is how it made me feel. Okay? Can we move forward with that understanding? Okay, so since they won, right, you have Jada and Trinity. These are the 2 captains. Since they won last week, they were elected to be team captains this week. So on Jada's team, you have Monet, Jinx, and Yvie. So you got Jada, Monet, Jinx, Yvie on team A. On team B, which was Trinity's team, you have Raja, who was chosen last. Poor baby. So you have Trinity, Raja, the Vivian, and Shea Coulee on team B. So the premise of this episode was like Fairy Tale Court. So the girls chose 2 different fairy tales that they had to do these mock trials of in court. You get Little Red Robin Hood and what's the other one? 3 Little Goldilocks. Okay, so those are the 2 fairy tales that they chose to try in court. And it was a little silly in my opinion. It wasn't. I'm going to tell you this right now. Out of all 4 episodes that we've seen thus far, this was my least favorite. I was bored. But let's talk about what we can talk about on this episode. So, if I had to choose a winner in terms of teams, I'm giving it to Jada's team. And let me tell you why. On Jada's team, Jada was smart. Jada chose Jinx out the box. And Jinx did what Jinx does. She delivered. She is improv. She is comedy. She is quick on her feet. She is so friggin' funny when it comes to these improv and acting challenges. So, she's playing one of the 3 little pigs. So you have Monet, Jada, and Jinx as the 3 little pigs, and Yvie is playing the big bad wolf. And as soon as Jinx walks into the courtroom, the door, whoever designed the set, you know, the door wouldn't close. And rather than letting Jinx throw that off of her A game, she just incorporated it into the A game. So it kind of gave you a glimpse inside of the character before the character even began. So she was closing the door multiple times, and I was just like, oh, she is stupid, but in the best possible way. So she gets there, and her delivery is impeccable. She's just thinking off the top of her head. At one point, the bailiff dropped the book, the Bible that you swear on, and she said something to the effect of, you know, I know it's dropped the book shocking. And I was like, oh. Go off, Jinx. I was just so excited just because I was like, that was so clever and sharp. Like, you have to be on your ish to think that quickly. Because for a lot of people, that would have been something that would have thrown them off. And Jinx said, what you will not do is throw me off, baby. Watch me work. Watch me work. So then in comes the second sister, which is Jada. And first of all, she could have been my sister because she looks so pretty walking into that courtroom as a pig. Now, when you can be a beautiful pig, that's when you know it's just Jada walked into the courtroom looking stunning. I was sitting there thinking to myself, who does she look like? And I felt like I was seeing like Beverly Johnson sort of notes in Jada. Comment below. I don't know who she looks like, but she just looked like a model walking in that court to me. I was like, first of all, I was just distracted by how pretty she was. Now, when she got up to the podium to, you know, add her little stank onto this challenge, as much as I like her, I have to be honest, in my opinion, it was lackluster. Look, we're going to be fair and we're going to be honest around here, okay? We're going to be fair and we are going to be honest. It missed the mark for me. She did not have a look over there moment in this improv challenge, you know, and maybe that could have been something she should have thought about, you know, trying to come up with a new tagline of some sort to just throw in those instances where she couldn't think of what to say. But it wasn't there. But in spite of it not being there, the look, the beauty was on 10. 10. 10 out of 10. So after Jada, you also have Yvie Oddly, who is playing, I believe, the plaintiff? No, the defendant. So Yvie Oddly is the wolf. And Yvie is killing it. Killing this challenge. I mean, Yvie is being quick-witted. She is committed to the character. Yvie is giving me what I did not expect Yvie to give. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I have written Yvie off. You know, watching the first 3 episodes, I was just thinking to myself, I don't know if she's quite ready to play at this level. You know what I'm saying? Comment below, let me know if I'm the only one. Let me know if I'm tripping. I was thinking to myself, like, I don't think Yvie is quite ready to play at this level. Not with these girls, because these girls are next level. So anyway, Yvie does a great job. In comes Monet. And Monet, her entrance was second only to Jinx's entrance. Monet walks in. She's playing the part of the attorney. She looked funny. Her presence is just so strong. But again, that's where it ended for me. It was flat. It was one note. It didn't really go anywhere. I wasn't impressed. I'm not sure if when they edited the episode, maybe they cut the funny parts out. But for me, the only 2 people I saw on that team were Jinx and Yvie. So let's move on to Team B. So in walks Shea Coulee. And Shea Coulee is playing the part of the grandmother in the Goldilocks fairy tale, right? And so she looked the part. I didn't even recognize Shea at first when she walked in. I was like, who is this again? And it took a moment for me to collect my thoughts and be like, oh, it's Shea. But she walked in and she was funny, but she didn't embarrass herself. Let me put it to you that way. She didn't embarrass herself. I mean, she had funny moments where I was like, okay, that's cute. And I'm not sure if it was really that cute or if it's just because I like Shea that I'm secretly, you know, putting a little extra on her performance. Okay, let me just say that. But it was decent. But let me be honest with y'all. I don't like anybody on that team. And the winner on this episode, which was actually the Vivian, was on this team. They were ranting and raving about that. The accents. I wasn't impressed by her performance. I wasn't impressed by Trinity's performance. I wasn't impressed by Raja's performance. The only funny person on the team, in my opinion, was Yvie. Because Yvie actually helped out on both teams. So she played the bad wolf on both teams. So for me, that team just really didn't have any standout performers. Everybody was just average at best. But somehow the judges saw something that I didn't see because I did not see it for the Vivian. And the Vivian actually wins this challenge, right? This improv challenge. So you had 2 winners. You had the Vivian and you had Jinx Monsoon. So they were this week's top 2 all-stars. But Jinx is blocked. She has a golden plunger, right? So before we get to the lip sync, we have the runway. And this week's theme for the runway was spikes. And I'm going to tell you, this week, everybody smashed it. Everybody smashed it. Everybody. I didn't know where to look. Raja's was chef's kiss. The Vivian, that powder blue with the gold spikes and this cross on top of the headpiece. just stunning. And even the spike on the heels, you know, it was the details on the Vivian's costume for me. Even Yvie Oddly's costume. Oh, that's what I wanted to say about the acting challenge. This week, in my opinion, it should have been Yvie versus Jinx. Those are the two who should have won. I feel like Yvie was robbed. That's my and what face. Y'all can't see it, but basically I'm saying and what. You got a problem? Here it is again for you. You got Eve? I said what I said. It should have been Yvie and Jinx. Those were the top two, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's the only one that matters. My opinion is the only one that counts. So it should have been Yvie and Jinx that won the challenge. But again, back to the runway. Trinity came with this whole vampire spike theme where she had to stay coming through the front, going through the front and coming out the back. Amazing conceptually, executed perfectly. I will say this, out of everybody this week, Shea Coulee was probably one of my least favorite runway looks. Like, and it wasn't that it was bad. It was just that everything else was just so next level. And also that you come to expect so much from Shea that the spike look was a little, and it would have been if it was just a regular season, and then she was competing against the regular girls. But on this particular episode, it was just sort of, it was cute. She did this sort of nymph take on the spikes, and for me, like I said, it didn't miss the mark, but it just wasn't as powerful visually as some of the other things were powerful conceptually as some of the other looks that we saw. Yvie did this, I don't know, praying mantis. I don't know what to call what Yvie was, but a praying mantis is the only thing that I can possibly equate it to. But again, it was very Yvie, very on brand. And for that reason, again, because she didn't fall short in this particular runway challenge, I felt like give Yvie an opportunity. She worked for it this week. Who else do we have? Jinx. Now, see, this is where I feel like I wasn't quite sure if Jinx deserved to win this week, because the runway, this brown dress with these porcupine quills, while it was on brand for Jinx, I'm going to put her in the same category as Shea Coulee, where it wasn't that it was bad. It just, listen, you can have a brand and you can be loyal to that brand, if you will. But I also need you to think outside the box sometimes, right? And so while I'm cool with Jinx, you know, finding ways to make the challenges her, sometimes I want to see her become the challenge. Does that make sense? And so this week, it seems like the same silhouette, the same, it's just, I want to see Jinx do something different. I said what I said. I need to see something different. And so even though her runway was not terrible compared to Raja, the Vivian, Monet, even I love Monet's look. I loved Jada's conceptually, but Jinx just missed. I wouldn't say she missed the mark. She was on the mark, but she didn't go beyond the mark. That's what I'm trying to say. Look, go beyond the mark. The mark is here. I need you there. Okay. So anyway, the top two, as I mentioned, are Jinx and the Vivian. So they lip sync to Whitney Houston's "Love Will Save the Day." Jinx can act. Jinx can definitely act, and Jinx is definitely the queen of improv. But this one note performance that she gives, I mean, Jinx at this point has become a cakewalk when it comes to these challenges. If you win and you have to lip sync against Jinx, I don't know. She has to expand her repertoire as far as it coming to the lip sync challenge. It's just very sort of goofy, campy, which is cute. I mean, if you get the right song, but I don't even know if it's cute anymore because we've seen her do it multiple times that we're waiting to see something new, and she just doesn't have range in that area. So even though she might continue to win these challenges, she's not going to be winning these $10,000 because I'm going to be honest with you, the Vivian couldn't perform either. The Vivian didn't really, I mean, the Vivian wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't an all-star performance, in my opinion. When I'm looking for an all-star, I'm looking for somebody who can feed, whatever I'm hungry for, they can fix me up a meal, right? A 5-star meal. That's what I'm looking for. I am hungry. I am starving. I am insatiable, and I am here to be fed. And if you can't cook, why are you here? Send in the chef. And so some of these girls, in my opinion, and again, since we're talking about Jinx, we're just going to stay here for a minute. Jinx is funny, clever, but she cannot perform. She can't perform. Now, the good thing is, as long as she's not blocked, that's not going to stop her from collecting those stars. It may stop her from collecting those 10,000 performance bonuses, but she will still be able to collect stars as long as she is not blocked. And next week, she is not blocked. So the girls will have to work hard to make sure that she doesn't win in order. Because if you don't, that train is going to leave the station. That train is going to leave the station. So far, we only have 2 girls without a star. We have Raja and Yvie Oddly, who are starless. Everyone else at this point has a star. The Vivian has a star. Jada has a star. Trinity has a star. Jinx has a star. And Monet and Shay have stars. And Trinity and Jinx would have potentially had 2 stars had they have not been blocked. So, in my opinion, if I was thinking about blocking someone, it would be those 2. Because they've already technically won 2 challenges apiece. So, anyway, you guys, that is it for this week's review. Do me a huge favor, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you thought of this episode, whether or not you felt like the right 2 people won. Again, I wholeheartedly felt like it should have been Jinx versus Yvie Oddly. But again, Yvie would have wound up with that $10,000. Can you imagine a lip sync between Yvie versus Jinx? I'd be asking myself, cameraman, why are you even placing this camera on Jinx? If you don't just give me a single camera shot on Yvie and let me watch her work, because I know ain't nothing going on. Oh my God. And I love Jinx. I do. I love Jinx, but whew, baby, step it up. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and comment below once again who you thought won this week's episode. And also, as always, in closing, ask yourself this one poignant question. Why be bitter when we can be better? So let's be better together. I'm the Mass Trans, and I'll talk to you guys again in my next video. Bye-bye.